Listen to this with your full attention, because what you are hearing right now is not random, and it is not here to entertain you. This is not another inspirational message you forget in 5 minutes. This is not comfort. This is not hype. This is a moment of interruption, deliberate, precise, and unavoidable. Something stopped you. Something made you pause. Something pulled your eyes and your awareness to these words at this exact second. And that alone should tell you everything you need to know. Because moments like this do not arrive casually. They arrive when time is compressing, when decisions carry weight, when doors are either entered or sealed shut. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because a turning point has arrived in your life, and your soul knows it before your mind can explain it. The miracle you have been asking for, silently, desperately, sometimes through tears you never told anyone about, is not coming someday. It is here, right now, standing at the edge of your awareness, waiting for your recognition. But there is something you must understand immediately, before anything else continues. Miracles are not permanent invitations. They do not wait patiently while you hesitate. They do not linger while you doubt yourself. They do not stay open while you scroll past, distracted, numb, or afraid. Miracles move on divine timing, and divine timing does not negotiate. If you ignore this moment, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, you will not simply miss a chance. You will disrupt a trajectory that has taken years to build. You will watch something irreversible slip past you, and the cost will be far greater than you realize right now. This is why this feels heavy. This is why your chest feels tight. This is why your attention feels locked in, even if part of you wants to run. Your spirit recognizes urgency when your logic cannot yet define it. Understand this clearly. The universe does not issue warnings lightly. When something demands your attention with this level of intensity, it is not algorithmic luck. It is alignment. It is intervention. It is your higher self cutting through the noise of your daily life and saying, "Stop. This matters. This matters more than anything else you will encounter today." So pause. Put down whatever else you are doing. Set aside the mental noise. Silence the inner commentary, because the next few minutes are not neutral. They are not filler. They are decisive. This moment will determine whether you step into the most powerful chapter of your life, or whether you look back one day with the quiet, devastating awareness that you were close, and you turned away. Before we go any further, you must anchor yourself here. Type, "I'm ready." Not for me, not for performance, not for superstition, but because words are commitments, and commitments shift energy. When you declare readiness, you signal alignment. You tell the unseen forces governing timing and opportunity, "I see the door, I recognize the moment, I am willing to step forward." And when that signal is sent, reality responds. Now listen carefully. Today is not like the days before it. This moment carries weight, because everything that came before, every delay, every heartbreak, every setback, every moment you thought you were forgotten, was not random suffering. It was positioning. It was preparation. It was pressure shaping you toward a single convergence point. This is that point. Your past, your present, and your future are colliding here. This is an inflection moment, the place where paths split and outcomes diverge permanently. And unlike other opportunities you have encountered, this one has a boundary. It expires. Divine timing does not extend itself because you feel unprepared. It does not wait for courage to magically appear. It does not pause for comfort or reassurance. It moves forward, and you either move with it or you are left to live with the echo of what could have been. You can feel this. even if you don't want to admit it. That pressure in your body, that alertness in your awareness, that sense that something is demanding a response. This is not anxiety, this is proximity. You are standing at the edge of something vast, and if you step forward, everything changes. But if you hesitate, if you convince yourself this can wait, the ground beneath this moment will vanish, and you will fall into the long, silent space of regret. This is your wake-up call. This is the final boarding announcement before a once-in-a-lifetime departure. And the only question that matters right now is not whether you believe in miracles. It is whether you are willing to recognize one when it arrives. Now, listen even more carefully, because this is where most people lose the moment without realizing it. What makes today different is not emotion. It is not mood. It is not motivation. It is positioning. For your entire life, whether you understood it or not, you have been moving toward this exact intersection. Nothing was wasted. Not the wrong turns, not the delays, not the pain that felt unnecessary, not the waiting that felt cruel. Every experience was shaping your awareness, strengthening your perception, sharpening your discernment, so you could recognize this moment when it finally arrived. This is not coincidence. This is convergence. Your past is knocking on your present, and your future is standing behind it, waiting to see what you will do next. This is the rare moment when timelines collapse into a single decision. One choice, one response, one act of courage or avoidance that redirects everything. Most people live their entire lives without ever reaching a true nexus point. They drift from one chapter to the next, reacting instead of choosing. But you have arrived at a threshold. And thresholds are dangerous places for those who hesitate. Because here is the truth. No one prepares you for, not all opportunities return. Some moments come once. They do not repeat in a new form. They do not circle back later with clearer instructions. They appear briefly, demand recognition, and then move on to someone who is awake enough to meet them. This moment operates on divine timing, not human comfort. Divine timing does not wait until you feel confident. It does not wait until you feel healed. It does not wait until fear disappears. Divine timing assumes readiness because preparation has already happened, quietly, invisibly, over years of pressure and endurance. And right now, the window is open. You can feel it. That urgency in your chest, that alertness in your body, that sense that something is accelerating. This is not imagination. This is awareness catching up to reality. When timing activates, everything speeds up. Thoughts arrive faster. Opportunities appear suddenly. Emotions intensify. Resistance increases. Life feels louder, heavier, sharper. This is what happens right before a major shift, because the old reality is loosening its grip while the new one is demanding entry. But here is the danger. If you hesitate here, you do not stay where you are. You fall backward. Momentum does not pause. It either advances or collapses, and collapsing momentum does not return you gently. It drops you into the most painful place of all. Awareness without movement, knowing without action, vision without execution. That is where regret is born. That is where people spend years replaying the same question. Why didn't I act when I felt it? You already know this feeling. You have experienced smaller versions of it before. Moments when you felt something calling you forward. A decision, a relationship, a path, and you waited too long. Later, you understood. Too late. This is that feeling again, but amplified. Because this moment is not about one area of your life. It is about direction itself. It is about whether your future continues unfolding toward expansion or contracts into repetition. Right now, You are standing at the edge of a transition, and edges are unstable places. You cannot stand here forever. You either step forward or the ground gives way. If you move now, momentum carries you. Doors respond, support appears. Alignment accelerates. Things that felt heavy begin to cooperate. If you delay, the cost is not immediate chaos. It is something far worse: normalcy. You wake up tomorrow and everything looks the same. Same thoughts, same problems, same emotional weight, same unanswered questions. And that familiarity feels safe for a moment. But underneath it, something will be missing. A subtle awareness that you were close to something more, and you let it pass. This is why this moment feels uncomfortable, because comfort and destiny rarely coexist at the threshold. You are not being rushed, you are being summoned, and the summoning does not last forever. This is the pivot. This is the dividing line. This is the moment where paths separate, not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. What you choose here determines whether your future opens outward or folds back into what you already know. And deep down, you already understand that doing nothing is still a choice. The question is not whether this moment is real. The question is whether you will respect it. Now, we need to talk about what is actually at risk here. Not in abstract terms, not in spiritual cliches, but in real, irreversible consequences. Because ignoring this moment does not mean life simply continues as normal. It means loss, and not the kind of loss you notice immediately. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic collapse people warn you about. This loss is quieter, slower, more dangerous. It unfolds over time, disguising itself as nothing happened, but something does happen. The first thing you lose is momentum. Everything you have survived up to this point, the endurance, the resilience, the inner strength you didn't know you had, has been building a kind of invisible force. Momentum is not motivation. It is not excitement. It is stored energy created by persistence through resistance. And right now, that momentum is at its peak. If you ignore this moment, that energy doesn't remain neutral. It collapses. Imagine pushing something massive uphill for years. Every step required effort. Every inch demanded sacrifice. And finally, just as gravity begins to reverse, just as the weight starts to move in your favor, you stop. What happens next is not rest. It is rollback. The force turns against you. Everything you carried comes crashing back down. And rebuilding momentum from zero takes far longer than it did the first time. If it happens at all, the second thing you lose is alignment with people. Right now, there are individuals positioned along your path. People whose presence would change the trajectory of your life, not by magic, but by timing. Connections that carry access, knowledge, opportunity, and perspective you cannot generate alone. These people are not permanent fixtures. They move when the timing moves. If you hesitate, they do not wait. They align elsewhere. They are drawn toward motion, not indecision. And years later, you may look back and realize someone crossed your path once, briefly, and you were not ready. That realization is brutal, because you do not just lose the person. You lose the version of life that could only exist with that connection. The third thing you lose is flow. Resources, ideas, opportunity. Everything you desire moves through channels. Energy channels, attention channels, timing channels. When you are aligned, these channels open naturally. Ideas arrive without effort. Opportunities appear unexpectedly. Solutions surface at the exact moment they are needed. But alignment is sensitive. When you ignore repeated signals, the current redirects. Not because you are being punished, but because energy does not stagnate. It flows where it is received. Missed opportunities are not destroyed. They are reassigned. And nothing is more painful than watching someone else live a life you recognize as familiar, because it was meant to be yours. The fourth thing you lose is seasonal grace. There are times in life when things work more easily, when doors open with less resistance, when effort yields disproportionate results. This is not luck. This is timing. But timing has seasons. If you do not move when conditions are supportive, you are left to struggle later under heavier resistance. You can still progress, but it will cost more energy, more sacrifice, more time. Some seasons do not repeat. The final loss is the most devastating, because it is internal. You lose the version of yourself that was trying to emerge. Not all deaths are physical. Some are quiet suffocations, dreams that slowly stop breathing, callings that fade into background noise, potential that dulls into resignation. You continue living, but smaller, safer, contained. And the most painful part is not failure. It is knowing you were capable of more, knowing you felt the call, knowing you stood at the threshold and chose comfort over courage. This is why this moment matters. This is not about missing something external. This is about whether you protect or abandon the future version of yourself that trusted you to choose wisely. You are not being threatened. You are being shown the cost of inaction. And now that you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now that you understand what is at stake, we need to talk about what is actually being offered. Because this is where most people misunderstand miracles. What is coming into your life is not a small improvement. It is not a slight upgrade. It is not a gentle adjustment that leaves everything else mostly the same. This is transformation, the kind that rearranges your identity, the kind that alters how you think, how you move, how you see yourself in the world. The kind that makes your old problems irrelevant instead of merely manageable. This is not addition. It is replacement. The patterns that have kept repeating in your life, the same struggles, the same disappointments, the same ceilings you keep hitting, are not meant to follow you forward. They are meant to end here. That is why this moment feels intense. Endings and beginnings occupy the same space. First, your external life begins to shift. Your relationship with resources changes. Money stops feeling like something you chase and starts behaving like something that responds to you. Ideas begin arriving with clarity instead of confusion. Opportunities stop requiring force and start appearing through alignment. This does not always look dramatic at first. Sometimes it shows up as a thought that will not leave you alone, a realization that keeps resurfacing, an idea that feels unreasonable until you notice it has weight. These are not random thoughts. These are invitations. But invitations require attention. What you must understand is this: the miracle does not always arrive as a gift placed in your hands. Often, it arrives as something that must move through you. If you are distracted, it passes. If you are disconnected, it redirects. If you are asleep to the moment, it finds another host. That is why awareness matters right now. Next, your relationships begin to change, not because you force distance, but because resonance shifts. The people who drain you feel heavier. Conversations that once felt normal start feeling misaligned, and simultaneously, new connections begin to appear. People who see you clearly, meet you evenly, and do not require you to shrink. This is not coincidence. You are not losing people. You are outgrowing environments. When alignment changes, access changes, and the people meant to walk with you into your next chapter cannot recognize you if you remain anchored to your old frequency. Your body also responds. Much of what you have been carrying physically is not random malfunction. It is stored misalignment, stress held too long, purpose delayed too deeply, a life lived out of sync with your design. When alignment returns, the nervous system softens, energy begins to circulate again. Rest actually restores you. Clarity replaces exhaustion. Healing begins not because something external fixes you, but because something internal finally clicks into place. And then there is purpose, the thing you have avoided naming, the calling you have felt but postponed, the path you dismissed as unrealistic, impractical, or too demanding. It was never unrealistic. It was premature. And now it is activated. Purpose does not force itself. It invites participation. It waits for readiness. And when the timing aligns, it returns, louder, clearer, more persistent than before. This is why this moment matters so deeply. Because what is being offered is not comfort. It is alignment. And alignment changes everything, quietly at first, then all at once. But only if you remain present enough to receive it. This miracle is not chasing you. It is waiting for you to meet it. Now everything comes down to this. Not tomorrow, not later, not after you think it through one more time. This moment. Because what separates the people who experience transformation from the people who only hear about it is not belief. It is a decision. Right now, a part of you wants to retreat. That is not because this isn't real. It is because it is. Fear always shows up when something meaningful is within reach. Not loud fear, not panic, subtle fear, reasonable fear. The kind that sounds intelligent. The kind that tells you to be careful, to wait, to protect yourself from disappointment. But that voice is not wisdom. It is conditioning. It is the part of you that learned to survive by staying small, by avoiding risk, by choosing familiarity over expansion. And that part of you has done its job, but it cannot lead you forward. If it does, you will repeat what you already know. This is why hesitation feels dangerous right now, because doing nothing is not neutral. It is a decision to remain where you are, and remaining where you are will cost you more than moving forward ever could. So you must decide, not when fear disappears, not when certainty arrives, not when every detail makes sense. You decide in the presence of uncertainty. That is how alignment activates. Here is what that decision requires. First, acknowledge what you are feeling. All of it. The tension, the excitement, the resistance, the pull. Mixed emotions are not a sign of confusion. They are a sign of proximity. This is what real moments feel like. Second, choose now. Waiting for more clarity is just fear wearing a thoughtful mask. Overthinking is avoidance disguised as intelligence. You already have what you need to choose. The knowing is already there. Third, move immediately. Action is the language reality responds to, not intention, not desire, movement. Within the next hour, do something that proves you are serious. Cancel something that drains you. Begin something you have delayed. Reach out where you have been silent. Remove one obstacle that stands between you and forward motion. It does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be real. Fourth, protect this decision. Do not dilute it by seeking opinions. Do not announce it for validation. Do not expose it to people who cannot hold the weight of what you are stepping into. Not everyone is meant to understand your timing. Silence is not secrecy. It is incubation. Fifth, expect resistance. When alignment activates, friction appears. Old patterns resurface. Distractions intensify. Doubts knock louder. This is not a sign you chose wrong. It is confirmation that something is shifting. And now, understand what happens when you commit. First, you feel it. A subtle release. a clarity that wasn't there before, a sense of relief that has nothing to do with circumstances. This is alignment registering in the body. Second, confirmation follows. Within a short window, something responds. A message, an opening, a realization, not fireworks, but recognition. You will know it when it arrives. Third, momentum builds. What felt stalled begins to move. What felt heavy begins to cooperate. What felt confusing begins to organize. This is not coincidence. This is cause and effect. And over time, the change becomes undeniable. You look back and realize that nothing truly significant shifted until you did. This is why the miracle is not something that happens to you. It happens with you. You are not waiting on it. It has been waiting on your willingness. So now, make it real. Declare it, not for display, but for commitment. Say it clearly. I receive this. That declaration is not symbolic. It is directional. It tells your future you are moving toward it. This is the moment, not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally choosing alignment over comfort. And that choice changes everything.